Hello and welcome. I'm Mary Fitch, Executive Vice President of the Washington Architectural Foundation, and we're so excited to present Architects Read. This program, like many of our other programs for children, is supported in part by the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities and the Hattie M. Strong Foundation. If you'd like to learn more about our programs for children and adults, please visit our website at aiadc.com.
Hi, I'm Scott, Director of Exhibitions and Public Programs at the District Architecture Center in Washington, D.C. I'm standing here on the beautiful grounds of Washington National Cathedral, one of our beloved landmarks in the nation's capital. Today, I'm going to share with you a very special story about a young child, a young architect in love with building. Thanks for joining us. This is Iggy Peck, Architect. Let's get started.
Iggy Peck, Architect, a book by Andrea Beaty and illustrated by David Roberts. Some kids sculpt sandcastles. Some make mud pies. Some construct great block towers. But none are better at building than Iggy Peck, who once erected a life-size replica of the Great Sphinx on his front lawn. It's too bad that few people appreciate Iggy's talent. Certainly not his second-grade teacher, Ms. Lila Greer. It looks as if Iggy will have to trade in his T-square for a box of crayons, until a fateful field trip proves just how useful a master builder can be. Young Iggy Peck is an architect, and has been since he was 2, when he built a great tower in only an hour, with nothing but diapers and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed, "that's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past, and she realized those diapers weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks." But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn, using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples, and temples from modeling clay. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built a St. Louis arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Dear Ig had it made until 2nd grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings ancient or new." She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say, she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she thought that, above all, one ought to avoid them, no ifs, ands, or buts. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk, but he didn't hear. He sat in the rear while building a castle of chalk. "You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe?" "No, ma'am," Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now 2nd grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic, Ms. Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed, and Miss Lila Greer started to scream, "We're trapped in here! Oh my! Alas, kids, goodbye!" Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound. Luckily fainted, not dead. The class was amazed. They stood there quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon, each lad and lass there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces, and on the far side, beaming with pride, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge, dangling from shoestring suspension. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. Now, every week at Blue River Creek Elementary in 2nd grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker in t-shirt and sneakers talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie, that brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. The end. Okay, kids, let's have some fun. Let's build with fun materials. Iggy creates structures and designs using lots of found objects. Do you remember this image? A bridge made from boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things? Oh, and the item we should not mention. Did you figure that out last time? Now it's your turn to create a structure using found objects. Look for natural building materials on walks, like twigs, mud, leaves, and rocks. Or find things around your home, like cereal boxes, paper towel rolls, and even books. What do you think would make a good building material? Sketch out your idea and then start building. But first, check with an adult before using some materials. We want you to be creative, but we don't suggest dirty diapers. One last thing, be sure to take a photo of your own creation, whether it's a bridge, fort, skyscraper, or tower, and tag us on social media using @DistrictArcCenter. Have fun and be safe.
Thank you so much to Scott for reading for us today, and to all of you for joining us. I can't wait to see all of your creations on our social media. And we'll see you at the same time, 2 o'clock next Thursday for Architects Read number 4.